first thing I wanted to ask you was, because this is your fourth film?
Fifth
film.
Including my musical documentary, musical adventure.
As a director, what have you learned from your previous films that you were able to apply to this that's helped you grow as a filmmaker?
Well, I definitely think that sometimes you don't have to put everything in the movie. You can be more delicate sometimes. Obviously, I've always prepared really very specifically, and I've put a lot of work into the visual palette of the film. This, we were thinking, do we shoot it on digital or on film? And then we did tests, and we decided to go on film. And it wasn't that much more expensive. And I think that really helps the movie for what this movie is about. And it's also softer on all the ladies' skin and my skin and Woody's too. And it gives it a feeling of time passing. So I think, you grow, you either are growing, you don't change, but you either grow, and there are things that, you can say, okay, I'm good at this, but now I want to try to find the subtler version of that. And Woody certainly encouraged me when I was writing it to make it as nuanced and as sophisticated as possible and not make it so obvious, because he said he would feel more comfortable, but he thought the story maybe would be served. And when he saw the rough cut of the film, he said, I'm really surprised because it's even more like serious than I even imagined it could be. But he said but in the very best sense, because we never lose the comedy. We kind of veer back and forth, back and forth. And I think that's really a hard balance to achieve. And I think we were able to do that in a way.
I mean this as a great compliment. The film very much felt like a Woody Allen movie. Now, is that just because Mr. Allen was in it?
I wrote Woody's role for him, but certainly Woody, when he gave me his feedback, encouraged me to do it my way, not his way, but I was writing it for him. But I think there's things that are very much of mine in the film, but I'm also writing an iconic guy into the story. But I do think Woody encouraged me to be delicate and not to be afraid to. He didn't say that ever, but that's more of my, I can be robust, but that's more of my own nature. You know what I mean? And when we brought Vanessa Paradis into it, she really affected the dynamics of the film because she brought this beautiful, innate kind of, mystery, and she's just, graceful in a way that, and in a delicacy of her own. So that really changed it. So I think, as in anything, there is a combination. There's factors in there. But I feel very much it's my own film. But, obviously I wrote it for Woody, and Woody did have some, he certainly was very helpful to me. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe, he said when he saw it, he said, my innate sense is comedic. He says, yours is more dramatic than mine. He said, and there's advantages and disadvantages to both.
And so,
and I think that the film balances it nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. You have never worked with Woody in a film before?
I did. I did a small part. No, I did a small part in Hannah and Her Sisters. I did a small part in Company Man, that Doug McGrath, who co-wrote Bullets Over Broadway with him. He wanted me for a movie. I wasn't available. I was up for one of his movies that I didn't get. But he's always liked my work, and I liked his work. We share the same hair cutter, and that's how we got together. But no, during the writing process, he asked me to do these plays, direct these plays, 3 one-acts by him, Elaine May, and Ethan Cohen. And that's when we really got to know each other quite well. I spent a lot of time with him through the audition process, just that alone, and then the rehearsal process, and then the preview process, and then even after the previews, he would still come to the theater. So by the time we did this film, what you see in our relationship is, two people who have a relationship with each other and are comfortable, and I think there's an affection there, and that was out of that process of getting to know each other. So that was very helpful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, very helpful.
What is it like directing Woody Allen?
Well, the first hour he was shy and he has to find his footing, and I was shy. And then, sometimes he was fumbling with the lines. He likes to play with the lines a little bit. And then within about an hour, everything was, once he got his feet wet and I got my feet wet, it got easier. And after about an hour and 15 minutes, it was fine. And it was very easy. And he was a delight to work with. He was so easy. You know, if you said, maybe this moment you try a little more, be a little more delicate, a little faster, take your time here. He would do it immediately. And when we acted together, which was the first couple days, we just were feeling each other out. And it was helpful that we knew each other. And we just would look at each other and say, that was pretty good. What do you think? Want to try another one? And each one he would vary, and so would I. So, and that was, I didn't go to the playback and even check the playback.
Really?
No, I didn't do it.
Because you're in the scene,
No,
so you.
I'm not going to go sit there and do that. I just feel like, you know what? We have a certain amount of time to the day. I want to keep the rhythm. I have a good sense if it can work or
was
not
that
work.
throughout the film, or just? The
I just didn't do it that much. Once in a while, I watched it
Had
in
you
case.
done that on previous films?
I don't really believe in that so much. I think I do with sometimes directors that I feel like, I don't know if they're going to know what I'm really doing, and they'll say, hey, I think that one is better, I like this one, or just to check what's going on. But I think it's a tool, and it can be overused, and it can kill the rhythm of a day. And Woody likes to move, and so do I. So no, I didn't feel that at all. I felt like, okay. And if you're really listening to the person, and I knew, if there's not much you have to say to someone, then you can just do it. If the scenes needed a lot of work, I would have gone and checked it out and say, hey, that doesn't work, this doesn't work. But no, I didn't do that. And I had my friend Marco Pontecorvo, who's the DP, and he also is someone I trust. And Mike Hausman was the first AD, and I could always ask. I know there's people I know. Todd Maitland, the sound guy, he knows me really well. He's a great sound man. I say, what do you think? And these are people who I trust. And then then you watch it, and then you see. Yeah. No, but I didn't do that. No.
Do you find?
I didn't have the time to do that either.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you find as a director, working with actors, that your experience as an actor informs you and helps you working with them?
I think it can really help. Sometimes you have to be careful that you're not too sympathetic to the actor because you want to push them more. But like in Sharon's case, for example, I encouraged her to be as gentle as possible and that she didn't have to, bang. And the more she did that, the better she was. And she just was, because her character relates to Vanessa's character as this woman who seemingly has everything, but is kind of trapped in this, empty life, maybe. I know how to help people sometimes. I put on music to get them in the mood, or if they're doing a scene without dialogue, I just play music. And music that I think that I wrote the script to, which I used a lot of that in the score of it. So I know certain things, how to help someone, I think. But sometimes you have to be careful that maybe you want just to be brutal and just to say, this just needs to be faster. We need to pick that up, pick the pace up. And as you direct more, you can be, if it's too slow, that can be death sometimes. And that's, because it's about rhythm sometimes. But if you cast correctly, like Vanessa's a musician, Woody's a musician, they were like right on it, always. But other people you got to get to know, whatever. Like Sophia, if I would have known Sophia even more, because I really like her a lot, I maybe would have written a few things in Spanish for her, because I realized when I was working with her, she thinks in Spanish more. But she's got a great comedic sense, and I was trying to encourage her too. And saying, this is not the television show, this is a movie. You can do less, and you can be really good. And she is good. She's really good. She's very, she may not even know how good she could be, That's if, she wants to be. But she has real ability. Yeah.
Not too bad having a scene with Sophia and Sharon Stone.
It was a lot of pressure.
Pressure in what way?
Everyone wants to look good, this and that. And so it sounds easier than it is, because, women are judged by how they look, and especially as they get older. So it's a brutal business. And I wanted to make sure everyone looks, as good as they can be. But the wrong position, the wrong light, and you can look horrible. Even you can be the most beautiful person. And sometimes the most beautiful people are the most insecure.